How much do you care about what the Fed is doing at any given moment these days?
I think I actually care a lot because when you're a tech investor, there's this view like, who cares about the Fed? I just invest in tech.
Right.
But then you have events like 2022 where if you're not careful, you can get caught in such a downdraft, and on a mark-to-market basis, it can hurt a lot. And so we care a lot about what happens. I would say that right now I hear, of course, a lot of pressure, like let's cut rates, let's cut rate. My simple interpretation is, what if the economy is doing so well that we don't need to cut rates? And what if we did cut rates, and that's actually an implication of almost like we're seeing some weakness that's not there. So I'm not too worried. It seems like the economy is doing well. We have a data science team. We process about 100 million or so credit card receipts a day. So we have a T+3 view of what people are doing, which is a little bit faster. Usually MasterCard and Visa speak on a monthly basis. We think the consumer is still resilient. The economy is doing well. I don't see exactly the reason to cut rates given the strength. So maybe that's a different view of things.
I want to ask you a different name, Meta. Where is Meta land? I mean, you like Meta. It's one of your biggest holdings.
Yes.
Where do they land in the AI debate, fight, whatever you think is out there?
It's a bit of a tale of two cities. On one hand, you've seen they've been very aggressive at restructuring their AI team. They've made some big hires. They've offered some big packages to try to get some of the talent. But on the other hand, they just have this core business that if you think about an advertising business, how long is it before every single person sees an advertising that the AI chooses? And it's like, oh, Becky, a red dress, you a blue shirt, me a white shirt, Joe a tie. Everything is going to be custom designed for each ad, and the price of an ad is going to come down so much. So I think their revenue per ad is going to go up a lot. And since they've implemented AI, their revenue per click has been growing significantly.
So but you like them for the advertising side. You don't like Google or Alphabet.
Listen, Google has a combination of some businesses that are great, Waymo, YouTube, but then they have the search. And with respect to the search, I do think that OpenAI is a threat to the search.
And you own OpenAI too.
Business. We do own OpenAI.
And so, but is your view that Waymo ultimately gets spun off? For example, some people talk about that possibility.
I don't know if they spin off because you don't want to spin off a good business and be left with maybe one that's under attack.
Right.
I think all these tech companies, you've seen, they try a bunch of different businesses. Some work, some don't. But Amazon invented AWS. Google invents Waymo. Apple invented the whole ecosystem of the iPad, the watch. So I don't think so.
What about Elon? Where's Elon playing all of this in your mind?
I think Elon has gone back to being an entrepreneur. He's hyper-focused. I was speaking to some of the all-in guys who know him well last week and mentioned that he's basically...
They were at your conference too, I heard.
24/7 at... when are you going to come to the conference, Andrew?
The invitation lost in the mail. I got to look.
So I think Elon is back. And when he's back, he can do great things. And the robotaxi started 2 days ago. And I hear it's a sort of a near magical experience to be in a car with no driver, and the car makes no mistakes.
Philippe, are you an investor in any of Elon's businesses?
We're investors in SpaceX. We have very small investments in X.AI and I think Neuralink. And we also have a small investment in Tesla.
Interestingly, by the way, I don't know if you saw, Sam Altman made a comment recently about whether OpenAI could ultimately actually do self-driving.
Yes. I think that the ambition of the OpenAI CEO is very great, and I love that. You want to be around the most ambitious people in the world. He wants to compete with Apple. He did the deal with Johnny Ive. He wants to maybe do a social media. He's talked about that. I think you try a lot of different things, and you see what works out. I don't know if he'll do the platform immediately.
What about the relationship between OpenAI and Microsoft? I know you invest in OpenAI. You think Microsoft's going to be a big player down the road, but there has been a lot of media talk about frictions between those two companies and the partnership they've built to this point. Are you an investor in Microsoft?
We also happen to be an investor in Microsoft. Yeah. And listen, some of these companies, you start doing a partnership and then you realize that you both want the same prize. And then that becomes a problem. So maybe it's a version of that that's going on. But I know that both Amy, the CFO of Microsoft, and Sarah, the CFO, they're working hard on it. And I would think that a deal is going to be made.
If the deal isn't made, who suffers more from it?
Maybe short-term OpenAI and a long-term Microsoft. So I think at the end they'll make a deal.